Hi there, it's Chris here with selfmadenewbie.com, and in this video we're going to go through the best MP3 players currently out there today, and I've kept this list as comprehensive as possible, narrowing it down to my absolute top 5, so no matter what you're looking for, there'll definitely be something on this list for you. So before we jump in, drop a like and subscribe and hit the bell to be updated with new videos. Alright, as usual, we're going to skip the fluff and just jump right in. If you want to confirm what those recommendations are, go in the description there and check out that list to ensure you get the best price. Alright, so the first one on my list is going to go to my personal favorite, and this is the FiiO M11S. So ever wanted to relive the nostalgia of the 2000s without the cringy haircut? Well, meet the FiiO M11S, the MP3 player that promises to make you say, iPod who? While also questioning why you ever thought frosted tips were a good idea. Key features: storage. With a whopping 32 gig of storage, this little device can store, well, a moderate amount of embarrassing playlists. Formats: it supports more formats than there are types of coffee at your local hipster cafe, really. From WAV to DXD, it's like Swiss Army knife of file support. The battery life, boasting 14 hours of playback. It's perfect for those long walks to the fridge and back during a binge watch. A micro SD slot, so if you're the type who's never satisfied, there's a micro SD slot for all of your hoarding tendencies. Also the sound, this is where it shines, with a bold, organized and detailed sound that'll remind you just how off tune your shower singing really is. Interface, a user interface smoother than my pickup lines on a Friday night for sure, which is pretty smooth. And design, slick design, Android 10 operating system and a touchscreen so responsive it'll make your last date look bad. So to wrap up, just like my ability to make a good first impression, it's not perfect. There's a hint of treble rebellion and a battery life as ordinary as my attempt at home cooking during the lockdown, but if you can look past its minor flaws, and let's be real, who doesn't have those, this MP3 player really is the bee's knees in my opinion. The next one is my recommendation for the best affordable option. This is the Sony NWA306. So remember the Walkman? No, not that old brick from the 80s that you used to carry around like a prized possum. I'm talking about Sony's latest attempt at reviving our musical nostalgia, which is the NWA306. Think of it as your grandparents' taste in music, but in a sexy modern outfit. Some of the key features: 16 gig of storage. Not massive by today's standards, but hey, we're going retro, so it's enough to store all those guilty pleasure songs you won't admit to loving. Supports more formats than I have commitment issues, from MP3 to DSD. It's ready for your every musical whim. Battery life, slightly underwhelming at 4 hours, so good for a jog or a commute, or the average length of regret after eating too much at a buffet. Micro SD slot, for those who need more space like my emotional baggage, there's a handy micro SD slot. Sound, it delivers a well-balanced, detailed and absorbing sound that's more refined than my attempts at wine tasting. Yes, drinking the whole bottle counts. And design, it's small, both in price and size, and yes, size does matter when we're talking about portability. Plus, with that cassette tape interface, retro vibes stronger than your dad's love for bell bottoms. So to wrap up, like with any potential Tinder date, it has flaws. We're talking slightly unresponsive touch, like my cat when I want some affection. It can be a bit critical of weaker quality files, and it can heat up faster than a microwave burrito. Still, if you're craving a pocket-sized dose of the past with the perks of the present, this could be for you. The next one is my recommendation for the best premium option. This is the Astel & Kern A Ultima SP2000T. So step aside, peasants. Just kidding. If you're the kind who sips champagne while riding in a limo to the grocery store, I have a treat for you. It's the Astel & Kern A Ultima SP2000T. It's not just a mouthful, it's the Rolls-Royce of MP3 players. Storage, a breathtaking 256 gig, because why have a spoonful when you can have the whole pudding? Format, handles more audio formats than my wardrobe handles black shirts, and that's a lot. Battery life, 9 hours of bliss. That's nearly an entire work day, assuming you actually do work. Micro SD slot, so like a cherry on top, it does have the micro SD slot for when 256 gig just isn't enough, and we've all been there, right? Sound quality, it's like listening to a choir of angels, if angels also rocked out to AC/DC. Also the design, imagine if Michelangelo sculpted an MP3 player instead of David. Well, this would be it, except with pants. So in conclusion, before you toss your credit card at the screen, a few things. The price tag might make you sweat more than hot yoga. It's hefty in price and in size. It's got the kind of weight you'd expect from something precious, making slipping it into your skinny jeans a bit of a challenge. But if you're all about living that premium life, flaws and all, this luxury MP3 player will be your jam. The next one on the list is the best mid-ranged option. This is the Onkyo DPX1A. So ever wanted a device that's kind of like your teenage self? A bit chunky, highly flexible, and brimming with untapped potential? Well, say hello to the Onkyo DPX1A. The MP3 player that's kind of like a smartphone that had a baby with a vintage jukebox. Some of the key features: 64 gig of storage, enough to host ultimate thousands emo playlist. The formats, well, you name it, it probably supports it. From AAC to ALAC, this baby isn't picky, it's an audiophiles buffet. Battery life, a solid 16 hours. That's like the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy with some behind the scenes extras. Micro SD slots. One slot not enough? How about two? So this is perfect for those suffering from musical multiple personality disorder. Sound, if audio had a high definition setting, this would be it. Imagine crystal clear clarity. Listening to music on this is like seeing 4K for the first time in years after VHS. Design and functionality looks like your phone's beefier cousin, but with bonus features like Wi-Fi, Google Play Store access, and a volume wheel that feels very, very satisfying. So in conclusion, it's a tad on the chunky side, but sometimes chunky means more to love. And if you've been looking for a device that's more flexible than a seasoned yoga instructor and gives unparalleled audio experience, then this could be your ticket. The next one on the list is my recommendation for perhaps the most expansive and decisive sound, and this is the Astel & Kern A and Norma SR25 MK2. So ever thought you'd witness the union of brutalist architecture and audio brilliance? Well, enter the A Norma SR25 MK2. It's the audio player that's not trying to fit in, it's trying to stand out. And if that doesn't make your ears perk up, well, maybe you need a Q-tip. Key features: 64 gig of storage, because why have a song on repeat when you can have a library? Format, it's more inclusive than a hipster cafe's menu, really, supporting everything from WAV to MQA. Battery life, 20 hours. That's practically an entire day if you skip work, which you might just be tempted to do with this. Sound and performance, the sound is more expressive than a mime in Central Park. With features like AK file drop and BT sync function, it's all about ease and elegance with this. Design, with its off-angle screen, it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa of audio players. If it doesn't catch your eye, its unique design sure will catch your fingerprints, but hey, every genius has its quirks. The extras: 4 DAC filters for the audio geeks and electromagnetic interference shielding, because nothing should mess up your tunes. Also, who doesn't love the ability to annoy neighbors with consistent volume playback thanks to the replay gain function? So in conclusion, let's address the angled screen in the room. It is unconventional, but then again, so is pineapple on pizza, and some people swear by it. And while it may leave a fingerprint or two behind, the A and Norma SR25 MK2 is sure to also leave an imprint on perhaps your soul. A bit pricey, a bit quirky, but it's a gem for those who have an ear for the unique. Alright, so hopefully there's something on that list for you. If you do have any questions, do drop them down below. And if you found value in this video, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.